Hello and hello everyone. It is Friday night, but tonight we are not doing a game stream for a while. We are going to be doing an art stream instead. And that is for a number of reasons. But I hope that you will join me anyway for this goodness. We're going to be working tonight a little bit more on next Eldritchrune comic. Just doing some character stuff, which is always the fun stuff. Anyways, I hope that you all... Oh, where's my character roughs? There they are. I hope that you all are doing well. But yeah, let's get right into it. Hello. Thank you for coming to the stream. Yes, I'm sorry, no games tonight. My plan is I wanted to start a fresh file of Okami next, but I have not had time to prepare it for one thing. And for another thing, I'm not going to be able to stream it all next weekend because my dad is going to be visiting, and I'm going to be spending time with him all weekend. And that's going to be super fun. So I won't be able to do streams next week. I'm like, I don't really want to start a new one until I'm like ready to dive into it. So that's going to be after, not next week, but the week, or not next weekend, but the weekend after next. I will be diving into Okami, an old favorite. I've been craving Okami because I realized, oh my gosh, this is like one of my comfort games and I haven't played it in a really long time. I think I need some Okami in my life right now. And like, Materasu, you've never needed your power more. So I'll be doing that. The last time I did it on stream, it was a New Game Plus, and this is a fresh file, so I will not have all the Karmic Transformers, sadly. But it'll be fun to do a fresh file for that matter. I need to get back into practice instead of always relying on String of Beads. I don't know, maybe we'll even do String of Beads, or try and find the String of Beads on this file. I don't know. Either way, it'll be fun. But yeah, that'll be after my family visit next week, and I didn't want to start it and then have that break. And I was also considering doing some Slay the Princess DLC, because I still need to do that, but I didn't have time to set it up, whereas my art stream is already set up, and I'm not going to be able to do art streams for a while because of various reasons. I'm going to be pretty busy the next few weekends. So I'm like, okay, let's do one now, since it'll be a while before we do the next one. Oh yeah, I absolutely screamed my head off at the Okami reveal. I was never expecting it to get like a sequel or anything. Well, it did get Okamiden, and I like Okamiden fine. I like the music for it especially, but it's not quite the same as what feels like a proper sequel. It was kind of in some ways very similar to just kind of a repeat of the first game without change. Well, there was a few good things. Like I like the new gods; those were cute. Yes, dog game. Very best doggy. I love Okami so much. It is just a serious comfort game for me. It's one of those games that I regularly go back and replay, and I realize, wait a minute, it's been like 4 years since I've replayed this game. Heck to it. I know I've got a ton of new games I need to tackle. My list continues to grow long, but please indulge me this revisit to a favorite. A serious favorite of mine. And actually, let's do some special lines too. I might need those. Just again, I've never needed your power more, Materasu. I have like art from it up on my wall and stuff like that I've gotten some friends. Back in the days when I used to do roleplay on the internet, Ami was one of the characters I played. Just really okay. I'm glad you're down for it. So Okami will be starting in about 2 weeks. So, but tonight it's art because yeah, it's going to be a while before I can do another art stream. Just very, very busy weekends coming up. So this is not like okay, we'll do just a short one. Try and make up for it. It'd be nice to make a little bit of progress on this comic since I'm like, this might have to back burner for a bit again because of the aforementioned stuff going on. Nice. Yeah, one of the things I'm doing this weekend is a convention. I'm going to Fan Expo. I have not been to a proper convention in a long time. I don't think since COVID, actually. So that'll be nice. I used to sell at conventions all the time, but I haven't done that in so long. Just attending. I'm just going for one day. Like, I think they already started tonight, and not going tonight, and I'm too busy tomorrow, but we'll be going with some friends. Because I haven't been to Fan Expo either. This is an entirely new con for me. So it'll just be like checking it out and hanging around, maybe getting some stuff in the dealer's hall, all that goodness. Having some fun. A little break. Yeah, just a nice, good convention time. And again, family's visiting the weekend after, so I gotta prepare for that. I gotta clean. And once you're an adult, you have to like take care of your house and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I gotta clean. And then I also have to finish my work early because I took some time off of work for that. But I'm like, oh, I still gotta get stuff done on time. So I've been pretty busy pumping out stuff for work. But I'm still trying to make progress with Eldritchrune as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to revisiting Okami. It's a very, very special game to me. Oh, nice. Cool. I also want to check out the local furry con here. I've never been to a furry con before. So I'm like, I have a friggin' fursona. I should go to a furry con. See how that goes. Just to, again, to scope it out. Maybe in the future I'll build up the wherewithal to sell stuff again to table like I used to do back in the day. But it's harder to do nowadays. I sold a lot of my stuff before moving, so. It is Vancouver. That is what I'm local to. Speaking of local, we had an earthquake today, which was a little spooky. I'm kind of used to earthquakes because I'm from California. But, yeah, I was like, ugh, is that construction next door? No, it is not construction next door. Not the earthquake. I know, that was a little spooky. It didn't, like, do much. It just kind of knocked over one of my toys. Earthquake bad, FurCon good, true. I'm glad we've established this. Ah, please do not go flying away. Oh, come on, pen. Work with me here. But yeah, since I haven't been to a furry con before, I will check this one out and see, hey, how does this go? Is this fun? I don't know, maybe I should prepare like some references for my fursona if I ever want to commission somebody and be like, please draw my fursona, I don't know, drinking hot chocolate or something. I don't know what my fursona does except for stream right now. Yeah. I don't have all the cool lore some people got. Yeah, this might be fun to get a little commission. Support your local weird artists. Always good. Also want to collect some pens. I'm trying to collect things like stickers and enamel pens. Because I got a sticker book and I got a nice thing for enamel pens. I'm close to filling it up. So maybe I should get a second one. Board to put all my pins on. Here comes the Undine. Also, yeah, this isn't going to be a super long art stream like my normal ones because my wrist has been a little off today. It's not feeling the best. So, I'm trying to take it a little easy. Oh my goodness. 100 badges, that's a lot. 2, so 98 to go. A worthy goal. And you can like put them in a cool like little scrapbook collection or something like that. Or whatever you want to do with them. I don't know. That's fun. That's kind of a cool thing to go for. Your mouse should be just like that. You'll just have to go to way more furry conventions, I guess. Depending on what is local to you. Even though I do a bunch of that, not in today's comic. It's all taking place in the light world, so it's all humans. All the time. Sheesh, I'm annoyed at my wrist, though. Trying to keep my back straight and my neck up and stuff in good condition. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Yes, as I was saying, my plan is to dive into Okami Left next because I need my comfort game. But I'm not starting it yet because I'm going to be gone all next weekend. And I didn't want to start the game and then immediately stop it for a week. So I'm going to start it up. Wait, I should put these on special thing when I think about it. Fight the wrist. How do you fight your own wrist? I mean, I fight it by trying to stretch, do my exercises and all that. I'm trying. It's been pretty decent this week. Just today, it's not been at its best. Even though I went to massage on Wednesday. Yeah, it sucks. I really wish it would just be all the way better, but I think it's going to always be one of those things where it's just going to require maintenance of some kind. I'm trying. I stretch all the time, and I'm trying to do exercise. I really do need to do more strength training, but I try to work up to it because I've noticed that when I strength train a little too hard, the wrist suffers for it. So I'm like, shoot, especially like raising my arms over my head aggravates the condition, which is crappy. So I'm like, how do I exercise those muscles which need it without raising my arms over my head too much? So I might have to like slowly work up to that more. Well, meanwhile, at least I can, shoot. Photoshop's still doing that weird thing. Get it back here. One nice thing about doing light world scenes is characters are a little simpler to do, so they go a little faster. They're not as fun as the giant monsters, but they are a little bit simpler. But after the Jevil battle, I'm like, okay, I think I need a scene that's a little bit more less crazy heavy on stuff. Something a little bit lighter. So we're doing some stuff with Undyne and Alphys in this one. Since I don't think we've done much with them yet. We've seen Undyne briefly in the story, but not Alphys, I don't think. The dynamic duo. Now in human form. Wow. Yeah, after the earthquake today, I'm like, you know what? I should really get one of those, like, disaster preparedness kits in case we get the big one in the future. So, somebody in another chat linked one of them, and I'm like, oh, these are so expensive. At least the nice ones. They're like hundreds of dollars. Yes, there was an earthquake today. It was a not horribly big. I think it was like 5.1. And I forget which area specifically it was the epicenter was, but I felt it. I was like, oh, why is the apartment shaking? Is that the construction next door? It is not the construction next door. When all my other friends and coworkers are like, earthquake, and I'm not unused to earthquakes because I'm originally from California, and I've had a number of them growing up. But I think this is the first one I've felt since I moved here. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just, prepare for if a bigger one comes. Because this one, like, I felt it. The stuff was shaking. But, like, at worst, one of my toys fell over that was already not very stable, so it wasn't like it was that bad. I look outside and all the construction people are still, like, walking around doing stuff, so I'm like, okay, it wasn't terrible, but it might be good to be prepared in case there's a really big one in the future, because there's no predicting that. There's not like a season for them. They just kind of happen. But I was looking at some of the earthquake preparedness kits, or just, disaster preparedness, whatever, because I don't have those yet, anyway. And they're like hundreds of dollars. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's a lot. But on the other hand, it might be nice because it's like, they're hundreds of dollars, but like they include everything. There's like food and water for days, and, sleeping bags, and lights, and stove, and batteries, and rope, and, tools, whatever, like a bunch of stuff I don't have. So I'm like, oh man, maybe it'll be worthwhile to just invest in that. Oh, okay, right, I totally forgot about my thing. Let's see, where did I put the where did I put that? I think I put it in Quick Doodles. Let's get that out. Sorry. More of older Asriel being a floofy king. Like, anything specific on that? Where was that? Random Deltarune Doodles? Where did I put that? I feel like it was in here. Species swap. Stream Doodle page. Here's our Stream Doodle page. Okay. How should he be a floofy king? Like just because right now I just have him standing there. I gotta look at a picture. Look in here to make sure I have him. Let's see. Would he have tea or something? I don't know. You can just be waving. You can just be waving at people. That's always possible. Hello, I'm king. Oh yeah, I guess you don't have that many of them in Australia. I'd like to visit Australia sometime. But yeah, no, I am originally from California, so I have experience with them. I think my first earthquake was actually the big 94 one. That was a kind of a big one. I think it was like a 6 or a 7 pointer or something. And it was like early in the morning. I was a little kid at the time, like 9 or 10 or something. And the whole house was shaking, and it woke me up, and it woke up my parents and all that. And they came running in to check on us kids because, holy crap, there's an earthquake happening. Although what you're generally supposed to do is get yourself under a table or a door frame or something sturdy so that you can kind of protect your head just in case. But they came running in. Luckily, like, our house wasn't really damaged or anything. It was, it was on a pretty good foundation, and it was only one story. So, house was okay. Stuff, shook and fell off the shelves. But otherwise, we were okay. But other areas around there were hit pretty hard, and stuff fell down. So, yeah. So, some people, it's weird with earthquakes because... yeah, you can't really predict them or anything. They just kind of happen, like, you're just sitting there, and all of a sudden, your house starts shaking, and you're like, oftentimes it ends by the time you realize what's happening. It's a little wild. Where did I put number 1? Here it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. It's just it literally feels like, oh, everything in my house is shaking all of a sudden, and there's not much you can do about it except wait it out and try and get yourself. Again, generally, if it's really bad, and you realize it's happening, you want to get yourself in a sturdy door frame, or under a table, or under a couch, just something to protect your neck or head in case anything falls all of a sudden on you. But yeah, that is the thing. There's not like much of a preparedness. It's not like a tornado or hurricane thing where it's like, oh, I know it's coming, so I gotta prepare for it. It just happens all of a sudden. Oh, explosion! That's freaky. But yeah, so I'm considering spending a bunch of money on a preparedness kit in case there's something way more severe than what we had, because today's was not terrible. At least not for me. I don't know how it was at the epicenter, but 5 is mid. You feel it, but it's not terrible usually. But once you start getting up to 6 and 7, that's really spooky. And even then it was like a 5.1. At first they were saying it was like a 4.7, then they said it was a 5.1, so I guess they upgraded it a little bit. Yeah, you get kind of used to them in California. And I guess usually the thing with preparing for them is, aside from having a kit at hand in case you need it, generally what you want is the building itself to be prepared to handle that. Because you can design buildings to, not earthquake proof them, but help make them a lot sturdier. And, generally the ways they do that in California are, and along the Ring of Fire, you have a solid foundation. You don't want to build on something sandy. You want a nice, good, solid foundation for everything. Californians don't have basements. Like all those things are like, I'm going to go down to the basement and get something. No experience with that. I have never stayed in a house with a basement. Just did not have those growing up, because a basement is a bad place to be in an earthquake. You don't want something that's going to, you don't want to be under the earth when it's, shaking. So no basements. And especially for like oh no. Well, say if you're in a place where you don't have to worry about earthquakes very much, then, a basement makes sense. Oh, another one. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me finish up this real quick, and then I'll do the other one. Oh, yeah, it makes sense not in swamp states, because that's going to flood. But, yeah, you don't want them in an earthquake-prone area because, they're not safe in an earthquake. And, like, with taller high-rises, they can construct the base of them in such a way that, like, the building is kind of on rollers, so that when the ground shakes, the building is kind of swaying with the ground, and that feels really bad at the time, but it's actually a little safer to move with the ground than to try and resist it. You're more likely to, like, break apart if you're stuck to that kind of thing. So, yeah, they especially designed some buildings to kind of, wave with the earth. And scary, but it's more likely to keep its structural integrity. But you got to actually design the building that way. It needs a good foundation. Okay. Oh, yes, you'll have to tell me, remind me again what your request was. Okay. I'll pop back over here, and then as soon as I do these, I might do my little stretch break in just a bit, because gotta take care of my stuff. Yeah, remind me again what you said. Because I did not remember, I forgot. Chris hugging Eldritch Susie? Okay. We can do that really quick. She would get all grumpy. She'd be like, heck to that. If you think you're so tough, I'll eat you. And all your friends, too. yeah, that was my day today. Trying to sit down and do some work, and all of a sudden, brrr, all the stuff shakes. And it's like, ah. And again, it happened so fast. It was over in like a minute. Super duper fast. Okay. Well, thank you for coming to stream. Cat goes for flowers like Susie goes for food. Oh, you gotta be careful with that. It'd be kind of hard to do this as like a doodle. Chris's hair. I'm giving her a hug. Use the spray bottle. You're like, why are you hugging me? Also, you can see how bad my stuff looks if I don't do like a rough for it. But these are just supposed to be really quick little, like, 1 to 2 minute doodles. Very, very fast. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Susie does not like it, though. Don't hug me, fear me. She is so confused by this. Alright, little giving a hug. Okay, I can probably do a little bit more than I need to do. My stretch break. Although Alfie's in the earthquake, she just did not react at all. She was already hiding in her log anyway, so I don't think there's anything for her to do. Just kind of like, yep, that's happening here. I'm gonna stay here. Alright, well, thank you for the redemption. Eventually, one time, I'm going to fill up that thing and then we'll post it. There's still plenty of room for more. Look, it's Pluie. At least what some people think is Pluie. What do you all think a Pluie is? If it's anything more than a shitpost. PlayStation UI. PlayStation. We have implemented the PlayStation UI. Yep. That does kind of look like Pluie, doesn't it? Is that like the user? Yeah. I guess that'd be like the border and stuff around it. Pluie. Saying some stuff like this guy is a save point in the light world. I'm not sure about that. Could be, but odd choice for the save point. Oh yeah, and the buttons. We have implemented PlayStation. Ah, true. You gotta change all the imagery instead of just like press X key after the show, like the, PlayStation X. It would be a Toby thing to do. Be like, we're talking about the UI actually, but we decided to call it Pluie. Making Doobie where I'll say a save point. Oh. Chris was like, what is this and why is it in the light world? So we know what save points in the dark world are, but I am curious to see what we'll be getting for a save point in the light world. Oh, did it? Huh, interesting. Tell you what, I ended up using a controller for my playthrough of the games because I was doing it on the keyboard and just keyboard was not cooperating. So I'm like, let's stop on that and we'll use the controller. Rousey, what are you doing? Alright, it is time for me to do stretches. I gotta make sure I do my stretches. Notebook would be cute. Although I did also, I don't know, I thought it might also be cute if it was like just like a phone call tutorial. Kind of like as an homage to Earthbound, since in that one you call home in order to save. But, who knows? And also if it was kind of thing you can do at any time with your phone, I guess it's not quite the same impact as a point you have to actually go towards. But it would be cute. What's that, honey? You want me to save? Okay, I'll save some stuff for you. She doesn't get it, but it works. Nice little Earthbound homage. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the time when, like, I don't know, something will happen wherein we're able to use the phone in the dark world and it won't be garbage noise. We'll actually be able to do something with it. People will be like, what? Top 10% of Rattata. You know how cool my Rattata is? Yeah, I actually remember that. You just get calls from people, and Joy would just call like, hey, did you hear about my Rattata? Top 10%. Also, shorts are comfortable and easy to wear. As they do. Boy. Big stretch. You gotta check it out, dude. Anyway, I think beta might have meant something differently back then. What generation was that again where you got phone calls from random people? I'm trying to remember now. Was that Gen 5 or was it 6? Or was it even... I can't remember. So I remember it happening now, but I don't know the circumstances around it. Oh, there's a few with that? Okay. Interesting mechanic to keep that. Okay, they did it in gold and silver. Wow. Huh. All the way back then. Goodness gracious. Or did they do it with, like, heart gold, soul silver? Okay. I'm surprised it was all the way back then. You're literally just going along on, like, your Game Boy Advance. And pops up, bring, bring. Did you hear about my Rattata? Have random trainers call you. Fascinating. Fascinating. I somehow thought it would be like a later one. Like, I don't know, Gen 5 or something it would start. Huh. That is interesting. I feel like nowadays audiences would not really tolerate that sort of thing. Would be like, ew, why can't I turn off people calling me randomly? People would complain about it. I don't know, that feels like a very very specific time for that. Alright, I'll be right back for some few more stretches. We did a few more stretches. Yeah, I guess it would be text nowadays. I'll be honest, I rarely pick up my phone unless I know exactly who's calling or have a good idea of it. Like if it ain't a name or a number I recognize, I'm like, goodbye. A lot of spam bots. I sometimes get those kidnapping scams. Those are wild. But they're always in Chinese, so I know that like they're not gonna work with me. I guess they might work better with native Chinese speaker. But yeah, I was like, man, why am I getting these messages in Chinese? And people are like, yeah, that's a kidnapping scam. And I'm like, holy crap. I wonder how often those work. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's also ones where it's like, go come get your, we're holding your package, you know, something with the IRS, anything that requires like urgency. You know, I had a friend who was talked about almost falling for one of those scams. You know, wire something really fast because of the IRS kind of thing. They almost fell for it until they were like, you know, trying to find a Western Union credit thing, until somebody at the store was like, dude, these are probably scams. Calm down. We're gonna arrest you if you don't pay us $500 in gift cards. And the IRS is also not gonna call you. I don't think any of the revenue places will call you. Because I was, good grief, this is one time I was at work, and, you know, this is back before COVID, so I was actually at work at the studio, and, one of my coworkers, got some phone call, and, you know, we're kind of working along, and she's talking on the phone, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, are you going to arrest me? Is that what you're gonna do? Well, come home right now and do it, bitch. Here I am. And then hung up. And we were like sitting there like, what? And she's like, yeah, it was a scam. So I yelled back at them because they were doing we're going to come and arrest you threat sort of thing. So she just yelled back at them. Oh, well, come do it. Yeah, pussy. Come arrest me. Yeah. Show me that warrant. I do not have the wherewithal or energy to like shut down a scammer. I'm just like, I'm going to ignore you until you go away. You do gotta be careful though. I have fallen for phishing scams before, and it's embarrassing, but it's like, oh shoot, okay, you gotta remember that for next time. They are good at trying to get you. It's mostly just frustrating that we've had to endure so many of these that like people don't answer the phone, because if they don't know the person, they're like, well, it's probably somebody trying to sell something or scam me, so I'm not going to answer. So a lot of times you do not answer the phone if you don't know who it is. I agree. I think they should treat scammers harsher. I think scamming people is just, ugh. There's such a banal grossness to it. I especially really, really don't like the kind of scammers that target elderly people who, you know, like, don't really have quite a hold on all their faculties, and, you know, they're vulnerable. They probably have a decent amount of money saved because, you know, that's all they have. They don't have another income. Like, people that target the elderly for their money for scams, ugh, like, if I believed in hell, there'd be a special little room for people like that. Because there's just something I think really despicable about not just scamming people, but scamming people who are already in a vulnerable position because they're vulnerable. Like, it's just so gross. Those people should be shunned. Oh, whoops. Yeah. It's like if you're gonna scam people, why won't you scam like something cool, like, you know, scam an insurance company or a bank or something, I don't know, and then distribute it like Robin Hood. But they ain't gonna do that because they're not that cool. So you're not having a leverage kind of thing going on. I haven't seen Leverage, but I think that's what it's about. Yeah, send a corporation a random bill. Yeah, individuals are easier. Just sucks. Yeah, exactly. They'll probably just pay it. They're like, oh, I forgot about this. But no, you gotta go after, like, again, people who are elderly or vulnerable or poor. Makes me mad. Also, what makes me mad is my dang pen not registering my strokes. I don't want to stroke too hard with the pen because it's gonna not be good for my wrist. Come on. Yeah, thankfully, I don't think any of my grandparents got hit with those. Mostly because they've, you know, either been in good company or like have had their mental faculties pretty good with them. Like, you know, they're stayed pretty sharp into their old age. But I have seen it happen to other people, and it really sucks. Sounds like very important work. Yeah, I really might switch my other pen. I hate this kind of thing. Long-term care insurance. Oh yeah, that sounds really important. That sounds like that is a very necessary job. I'm dying trying to do her job. Come on, pen, work with me. I don't want to do hard presses. I want to do like just a very basic light little press. I might switch to my other pen though. Yeah, I think I'm going to try my other one for a little bit, even though the other pen does not have my doobly on it. Alright, we'll use this for a little bit, see how that goes. But my usual pen, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I put in the new nib wrong, and it's kind of fallen out. But I had, for that pen, I tried to put like a little wrist guard on it to help with my wrist, and it's an expensive little thing. Oh, I imagine that does keep you on your toes, yeah. I bet there's a lot of interesting stories involved in that, though. I'm gonna feel very weird once my parents get to that point. I have one grandparent left, and she is doing all right, but she's also getting up there. Oh, what is that? Let me see if I can click this or not. That's a long link. Is that just Sans hiding in like a golem? But we'll do that. We'll do this weird little guy. Oh yeah, I imagine that requires a lot of patience. Alright, here's Sans as a bush golem, I guess. Interesting OC. Wipe. Sometimes you just wanna, you know, sit in nature and be a bush golem. I apologize if this is not a bush golem, but that's what it looks like to me. He just looks like a leafy guy. Happy OC. He's just chilling. There we go. That's a leafy guy. Whoop. Sit in the corner there. Alright. And we're back to it. A mossy boy. Yeah, exactly. I'm so sad I didn't get that picture in my truck freak thing. That would have been amazing. I've been like, wait, what is this? Alas. I was not April Fooled in that way. I like how that's like still now on the Wikipedia or something of him covered in foam. Wait, that's not what she has. She has these. Why do I have little X's there? That's not correct. It's not correct here either. Good grief, forget my own designs. Yeah, I think it was only like a really random sample of people got it. But I am on the truck freak list. I wonder when we'll get the next newsletter, since it sounds like he's not going to do the next newsletter until he knows the release date. That's what it sounded like anyway. Something's got her attention. Okay. Got that page done. 1 out of 9, I think. Ooh. Yeah, he's honestly just kind of doing like weekly updates on his Blue Sky. Although, I do hope it does not come out in March, because this is going to be a busy month. I don't know how well I can take off the time for it. I'm okay with early April or late May or June, though. I would love for it to line up for my slow periods of work so that I don't have to scramble around that. Still so far away, so cruel. Now, it seems closer and closer all the time. Yeah, now we're on to testing and porting. Although I imagine, like, even after that, I don't think he's going to do a shadow drop for it if it's paid and on consoles. I'm pretty sure we'll have to do some promotion stuff like that. It'd be really funny if they were also working on porting it to the Switch too. I'm probably not going to buy a Switch 2 right when it's out. I'll get it when I feel like, okay, I definitely want something that's on Switch 2 and I can't get on the Switch. I'm always very slow about getting new consoles. Yeah, I feel like he shouldn't shadow drop it. I feel like he needs to do some, promotion for it. Get it back in the public consciousness sort of thing. Because, yeah, fans are watching closely, but you don't just want hardcore fans. You want regular people to know about it, too. I'm not sure. Well, what I'm wondering is he going to do the whole game for, like, the chapters we don't have yet, or just the chapters we have so far? But yeah, I don't want to shadow drop either. I'm like, Toby, please. I am an adult now with a job, and if I want to take the time to play the game, I need to ask for work time off, which means I need advance notice. Please, don't shadow drop it. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a $20, $30 game total. It's certainly long enough. Certain to get in me. I'm quite certain it won't be $100. That seems excessive. Like I'm mad. I'll be mad if friggin' AAA games cost that much. But like $30 total for the whole game sounds likely. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be popular. Oh, I'm sure the people that would pay, I just don't think that would be a good price. I think that would be a pretty crappy price to make people pay that much. And I'm sure he knows that. Like, guy literally released 2 chapters for free. One of those chapters he released for free because he was like, I feel like this will help people because right now we're all having a really hard time. Here, have a chapter for free. Like, that's pretty crazy. So my anticipation is like $30 total for the entire game. Maybe $40 if we're being like, stretching it a bit. But yeah, it was great. I appreciated that. Although the timing with Paper Trail was nuts. I finished Paper Trail and then like a month later Chapter 2 came out. I was like, whoa, I got that in the nick of time. Just barely. No, Undertale is usually $10. Like, unless you're talking about the PlayStation version, which comes with, like, extra stuff and is, like, the physical copy. But, like, if you just buy the digital copy, then, yeah, that's like $10. So maybe a physical copy might cost more. Because you are printing materials with it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, those are fun. I'm glad people are doing those sort of thing. But it does feel kind of rough when, like, you're doing pre-Chapter 3 stuff. And then that's all, like, gonna get, undone. You have to appreciate it as, like, okay, this is now an AU. Which is pretty much what happened with Paper Trail, too. Like, a lot of stuff in Paper Trail ended up not being the case. But I don't know if that feels different with, like, a comic versus a game you play. Because then you're kind of more in line with, the actual canon itself. Yeah, that I felt pretty lucky on. I think it would have, like, I would have finished Paper Trail no matter what, but it definitely would have felt different if I had not finished it before Chapter 2 came out, and then Chapter 2 came out. It's like, oh, a lot of stuff in Paper Trail was different. Game development is hard, and it takes time. Reminded you of a dream? I was definitely trying to kind of grasp on to, like, Toby saying, oh, this was based on a dream I had. And I don't know, I feel like, if I had a dream about, some crazy, stuff happening with these characters I saw, and, they were about to, like, do something important, and then, the main character turns to me and is like, something like, I know you're there, and I can't do this as long as you're here. You have to leave. And then you woke up. Like, that would leave such a strong impression on me that I'd want to make that game, like, 15 years later. That's the kind of ending that, like, holy crap, I have to do this now to replicate that feeling. But that could be anything. We can't peer into Toby Fox's brain. Just thinking about that has only one ending, and the kind of meta aspect we've been set up of us being separate from Chris. That sort of like acknowledgement that the player has to let the characters go feels like something that would happen in a dream that would have a huge impact on me. And again, the kind of thing where I'm like, I have to share this experience with other people. Another game about dreams. So there's quite a few of them about dreams. Man, I had some weird dreams last night. They weren't necessarily really good either. Ugh. Not very fun ones. I don't even say stressful. They were just like, ugh. I really need to get back into like doing my waking up drawings again. Try and get some doodles from that. Live King Colson from Neopets. Okay. I don't know much about Neopets, but we'll give that a little shot. Well, it's yelling at me to log into X now, and I'm like, no, thank you. I am done with that site. It is done and gone. I did miss Neopets growing up. I somehow didn't get a lot of those. Guys. I feel like if I had been around at just the right time, I would have totally loved all those games like Neopets and stuff. I would have spent so much time on them. But it was just a little bit past my time. The stuff I was doing on the internet was different. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for the gift sub. I super appreciate it. Yeah, there should be a limit per person. At least I think that's what I did. I hope that's what I put it as. It's at least nice to fill up the page a little bit, though. I don't know any Neopets lore, though. Just that the economy for it was insane. Whatever, big stuff. Do a little bit of that. Kind of looks like a microphone. Okay. Here's a guy. Make him a little smaller to fit in with everybody else. Bloop. And there we go. Yeah, I think there was a lot of advertisements in Neopets. Ooh, cool T-Rex. Yes, that is a King Ralsei top left. That was an earlier one. He's always cute and fluffy. That's just the nature of it. No problem. Thank you for following along and using the points. Because now is the time for them. I still gotta think of something to do with that for game streams. But I'm not quite sure yet, except maybe like, I don't know, something for like a little pat on the head for the PNG tuber or anything. He's cute as a king. Bloop bloop. here's some guys that are gonna be annoying at Undyne. It is gonna be a giant pain in the butt when I get to the part in Eldritchrune's ending where there's like whole armies of this that Susie's gonna be eating. Good grief. The biggest pain in the butt. Like, get ready for crowd scenes. Get ready for crowd scenes of people in armor and weapons. Yeah, Eldritch I'll say doesn't necessarily need to rest, but he can if he wants to. Especially if like there's not much else going on, he can just like, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna power down for a bit. Well, I'll use what tricks I can. I'll copy paste what I can, but the problem is often there's a limit to how much you can do that and have it make sense. These guys have 4 things on that. And Data stares at him. You gonna do anything? Nope. I should watch Star Trek sometime. Can you believe I really haven't seen much Star Trek? Like, I think the most I've seen is like Enterprise, and that's not one of the better ones. I need to watch like TNG or Deep Space Nine or something like that. Should I just start with DS9, or should I like I don't know, get more, maybe do TNG or something, since I think that's kind of the ones people like a lot. Like, people like, it seems like people really like the you know, the original. People really like TNG. People really like DS9. Some people like Voyager. Yeah, and Enterprise was okay. I just watched along with my friends. It says elements of DS9. Whew. And then I should at some point watch Lower Decks, because I have friends that worked on it and just sing its praises. But it seems like Lower Decks is something that I would appreciate more if I was already like knew a bunch of Star Trek lore. So I think I would have to come to that after, you know, other shows. One and 3 are okay. Yeah, so it sounds like it's one of the things that probably not a good one to get into if you're new to Star Trek, but if you're like a big Star Trek fan, it's gonna really appeal to you. So I would have to watch some more Trek first. I just noticed this because I'm like, oh, I think there's some Trek on Netflix, and that's like the only streaming thing I have. I'm sure the rest are on Paramount or something like that. Poob has it for you. All that. It's closer to actual Trek. That's all good. Am I doing this on the wrong layer? Good grief, I am. Okay, fine, we can just merge this down. And I've heard kind of mixed things about some of the other shows, like, I'm trying to remember the others, like Picard and Discovery, and I can't remember what all of them are. I feel like there's a lot of new Trek shows that are kind of wildly varying. Yeah, I saw the first reboot movie, and as a little kid, I didn't watch most of the Trek movies, but we did have Star Trek 4 on like video or something. We watched that a bunch of times, and we always liked it. Star Trek 4 was really fun because it's, you know, it's not super heavy in terms of lore and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, we're going back in time to save the whales, which sounds goofy, but like they make it work really well, and you're like, oh, I'm having a lot of fun with these characters, and this premise is neat. I like that they're going back in time to save the whales and all that stuff. So we watched Star Trek 4 a bunch of times when I was younger. But I still haven't seen Wrath of Khan or any of that. Or like the first one. I have seen way more Star Wars than I have Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek 4 was fun. I really liked it. I like him picking up the mouse to talk to the computer, being like, computer, hello, computer. Alright, I gotta take a stretch break, so let's stretch a bit before we move on. And also I gotta turn off Alfie's lights. Yeah, TNG should have been my Trek growing up. But we didn't really watch it. You know what I watched as like what was the big family show that I would get together like with my family and we would all gather around the TV and watch it when it was coming out, like me and my brothers? Sequest. Sequest was like Star Trek underwater. And man, I kind of have this big fondness for Sequest. I think I still have the first season on DVD. Like my brother and I got a bunch of the toys for Sequest when they were out. If I had like infinite time, I would do like a video essay on Sequest because I haven't seen anybody talk about Sequest since it came out. And I don't know, I feel like you can say a lot about Sequest. It was like Avengers Endgame for a lot of people. Yeah, Sequest. It was good. It was fun. Honestly, I feel like that was on par with Star Trek in terms of like how wild some of the storylines were, because you'd figure like, oh, this isn't even space, this is taking place, you know, underwater, it should be more grounded. But no, they have like ghosts and aliens and like weird pirates and like rescuing somebody who came back from Mars, and you know, of course, you know, they have like the Dr. Lily kind of guy and interested in Darwin the dolphin, the talking dolphin. It's a little hard because there's also like, you know, Jonathan Brandis, and that's always, you know, a hard thing to remember. But when I was a kid, like, you know, Jonathan Brandis' character was my favorite because, you know, he's the young, cool guy, good looking. All the adults listen to him because he's so smart about computers. I do remember Mighty Max, but I don't think I ever watched it. It didn't quite appeal to me, but I do remember, like, I remember the toys for it, because basically, like, they had Polly Pocket, and then they're like, we need to do this, but for boys, so we're going to do Mighty Max. And we might have had one of those toys when I was little instead of Polly Pocket. Yeah. No, it was nice to watch some stuff with family. Well, my parents are not, you know, big into video games or anything like that. They do watch some, they do like media. Like, we would watch Simpsons often as a family. That was a popular show when we were growing up. And again, Sequest. They like stuff like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. They watched Game of Thrones until it got bad. All that stuff. So they're not hardcore nerds, but they're like, you know, they appreciate, you know, good genre media. And regular media too. Like they watch them. Whenever I go stay with them, they always have a bunch of like dramas on Netflix they want to watch with me. Always shave their heads. Oh, I didn't really have Barbies growing up. I didn't like them. My brother took them instead. I wanted dinosaurs. When I was like 4 years old, instead of having like a doll or something I carried around, I had a T-Rex, like a plastic T-Rex, and you could put stuff in its mouth and make him eat them. It was not at all an accurate T-Rex. It looked like, you know, a movie monster T-Rex, big scary eyes, all that stuff. But that was my beloved toy. I carried that around all the time when I was a kid. Big, terrifying looking T-Rex. I love that thing. That was my favorite toy. I had like two soft dolls, and I just put them behind my bed because I didn't like the way they looked, and kept stuffed animals instead. It was an awesome T-Rex. It was cool. Again, it was hollow, so you would like put stuff in its mouth and it would like rattle around the inside. Had to be small enough to fit in there, and you know, you couldn't get it back out. That's a problem, but very, very basic, you know, plastic hollow thing. Ninja Turtles face chair. Trains are fun though. We had Brio trains. Those were really nice toy trains. Like very basic, like wooden blocks, but they were like nice toys. Okay, I will be right back for a few more stretches, and I also have to turn off Alfie's lights. It's her sleepy time. Alfie's a sleepy time. You probably slept right through that earthquake. You did. You slept right through it. I gotta stretch. Alrighty, I'm returning. Oh, I remember Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh no, the lead paint. Ugh, I'm gonna sneeze. I think. Ugh. Ugh. Excuse me. Yeah, we used to watch Thomas the Tank Engine. I guess it was Shining Time Station is actually what it was called. Or whatever. But we used to watch that when I was a kid. We did have Brio trains, which were pretty cool, and Lincoln logs. Also had some Playmobil along with 2 big boxes of Legos. I feel like those things have gotten more expensive with time. But yes, the reason why you didn't hear any crickets is because I put them away. I put them out of hearing range because they are noisy. Well, I'm having a bit of a problem because the company where I usually order them from is not going to deliver crickets anymore. I'm going to have to find them elsewhere. Which is sad because I really liked ordering from the small business. I like supporting that, but I didn't get anything but crickets from them. And if they don't offer crickets anymore, I'm just going to have to get them from PetSmart. Yeah, it's a bummer. I think it was something to do with the supplier was not being good about their crickets for them. I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I don't have anything to buy from you. Like, they have worms, but the vet said she really shouldn't be having any more worms because she's already kind of overweight. So, no worms, more vegetables. Oh yeah, there's a whole live action show attached to Thomas the Tank Engine. No, they don't make the beautiful sounds that crickets do. They just are kind of worms. But I'm sure she would prefer worms because worms are tasty for a lizard. But that's part of the problem because they are also higher in fat than crickets are. And she should not be getting more fatty foods. She needs more vegetables. Which she does not really like to eat, but you know, she'll eat them. I do have some basil for dinner stuff this week, so she'll probably enjoy that. I've found that she actually really likes fresh basil. Like, she kind of ignores her usual greens. But if I'm like, okay, here's a little basil leaf, she's like, oh, and just gobbles that up. Oh yeah, she's gonna get lots of stuff with all those guards she's gonna get. They're very crunchy. Covered in armor, super crunch. A refined palate of human good. Tasty. Also, she's gonna also get her teeth on some rich assholes too, which is gonna be very satisfying. And mostly a whole lot of soldier guys. Oof, actually drawing all that's gonna take a long time. Lots and lots of karma. Yeah, that's a long ways off. Right now I'm only on, I think, about what's the most recent stuff I've done. I'm still working on various parts, like just kind of like, okay, I'm going to work on this part a little bit for this time. But I think the latest one I did like layouts and text and stuff for part 5 out of 20. Actually, that was the one I did layouts for. Not good things are going to happen to Mayor Holiday. That might honestly be one of the gnarlier ones in terms of oh dear, oh dang. Hopefully at least interesting. Yeah, Mayor Holiday gets it rough. Hopefully it'll at least be a feeling of like, you know what, that was deserved kind of thing. What goes around comes around, pretty much. Pretty much. Be careful what you wish for and all that. Yeah, that'll be a lengthy one. Two whole parts just to deal with Noel and Mayor Holiday, so a lot going on with that. No, this is Undyne. Undyne is getting into a bit of a tiff. Yeah, and Undyne's also kind of dressed more in like a uniform, whereas Mayor Holiday's in like a full dress, and Undyne has her hair up in a ponytail and stuff like that. All that goodness. we'll also be having Alfie show up in this part, but I don't know if we'll get to show her tonight unless we skip ahead a bunch of pages. And that's Undyne. She's like, Justice, I'm gonna get into fights with you. Yeah, it was surprisingly difficult. Like, okay, how do I keep like the spirit of the character while also be like making them a believable human? And some of the NPCs were definitely tricky. To the point where like, am I ever gonna actually show the onion human version? Because it looks a little doofy. Looks a little bit silly. I was pretty happy with how Human Sans came out. I do feel like he works better with some facial hair. And Fro, just keep his face round, keep his head shape pretty round. Well, Papyrus is especially hard because we don't know what Papyrus looks like in Eldritchrune yet. We're gonna have to just hope it's the same as Undertale. I feel like people either like draw him as like a pretty boy or bald, and I'm like, no, he's just like a funny, weird old guy. He should have facial hair. Not like this guy though. This guy's got crappy facial hair. Grow a real beard, idiot. Even his facial hair is too lazy to grow. Maybe he's just too lazy to shave it. Oh, that was so funny. That was so funny. I can't believe that happened that way. I was like, wait a minute. Here he is in real life. The legendary convergence, yes. How did I guess it that correctly? That doesn't make sense. He's a fan. It's had really good costumes, though. Those are some cool costumes. Costuming is hard. It's not my skill set. I admire people who can do really cool costumes, and I'm mostly just like, I hope the pants are on right. Probably not. I can design you a big beastie, but period accurate costumes. Extremely difficult. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. It's especially cool if you can get a concept like a font or a location or something. Like, I'm going to make a costume based off of this non-costume concept, and then you're like, oh yeah, that totally evokes the idea of what you're doing with that. Like, that's pretty cool. Translating one kind of art to another kind of art. It's all good. They usually chill about it. That's cool. It's cool when people are like, you know, artists are like chill about, yeah, sure, I'll share what I'm doing. That is nice. Yeah, exactly. You're just there to have fun. Ideally. Alright, that's 2 pages done. That's pretty good. 1, 2, 3. Keep forgetting that I was doing like backgrounds on these guys. I stopped in the middle of that. Nope. Yeah, those guys we're gonna do later. Because we're not gonna do lines for them. But if you can guess who those characters are, you're awesome. Ah yes, we gotta eat from the overpriced food trucks. The true con experience. You're like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm gonna get whatever I can from this food truck. And it's like $15 for like a tiny sandwich. And you're like, that tasted so good. It did not fill me up at all. But you pretty much have to do that or else you'll end up like I did, where I'm like, okay, this anime expo, we're just going to have a whole bunch of like Nutri-Grain bars. They're cheap and we can take them around and it'll be easy to eat. And then, after that con, I have since not eaten a Nutri-Grain bar. And the very thought of Nutri-Grain bars makes me feel kind of ill. I destroyed myself on Nutri-Grain bars because I'm like, ugh. Ate too many of them too frequently. So watch out. Don't do that to yourself. That's a good plan. 1 for food, 1 for merch. I should make sure I have some cash on hand for that as well. So I'm sure I will want to buy some nice things from cool artists. Again, add to my sticker and pen collection. Oh, Amtrak. I've never ridden Amtrak before. I've done the train a bunch of times, but never a train in the U.S. I've always just done trains in other countries. I actually have a Susie keychain. It's on my bag. It's so cool. Yeah, buses are a little rough. I prefer the train to the bus, personally. Buses are fine. Like, buses can be really, really useful. But overall, I just prefer being on a train. Feel very lucky that there is a elevated train stop extremely close to me, like less than a block away. So if I ever want to like take some public transit, I just like walked over and hopped on the train. Over really fast. Super convenient. Like, Americans, please embrace the train. They're super, like, as long as you set them up properly and take them where you need to go, they're very fast, very convenient. They feel a little better to travel on than a bus. And they're just nice. Trains are neat. I like trains. They do not crash as often. True. They're very good about not doing that generally. Oh yeah, 8-hour ride. Good grief. Ugh. I'm nervous about flying these days, so I honestly looked up. I'm like, can I take the train from here to where my brother's wedding is going to be in July? And it's like, you can technically, but it's like 4 days both ways. So I'm like, ugh, I don't think I can do a 4-day train ride by myself. So I'll have to do the plane. Well, on the one hand, that would be a pretty neat trip to like take, just like, you know, spend days on the train watching stuff go by. I think that would be extremely exhausting right before a wedding. Yeah, that's the problem is, like, again, if the infrastructure was just there, if there were better, like, you know, more frequent stops, if it was more frequent service, then it's awesome. But, you know, if it's not super fast, if it's not convenient, it's like, well, crap, I have to, you know, take the bus or a car or something. That sucks, because, again, I like trains. Like a large part of what makes travel stressful, especially if you're in a car, is that you are the one that has to be moving the vehicle and, like, pay attention to all the, you know, road stuff going on. So, like, a lot of your attention is just going towards moving yourself. Whereas on a train, you don't have that stress. You're like, as long as I got to my thing on time, I just plop myself down on a seat and do whatever I want for as long as I have to, and when I get to my destination, off I go. And it's just way less stressful. I guess it's still stressful because travel is always kind of stressful, but there's, like, an important aspect of the stress of the travel is not on your shoulders, it's on the train. I don't think I've ever taken a really long bus trip, though. Like, I've been on the bus a bunch. But usually if I'm on a bus, it's, like, it's doing something pretty local. It's not going to be a trip that's a really long bus trip. Except for, like, I guess I have been on, like, tour buses. Yeah, I've been on, like, tour buses that are designed to, like, go all around the city or go to multiple countries and stuff like that. And those are long. But those don't feel the same as, like, a city bus. Oh no! No, that's terrible. I hate that so much. Like, honestly, if it's that bad, I wouldn't even drive. At one point, I was dropping some friends off at the airport very early in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the van, time to drive home. And then just, like, the angle that I was going at, like the direction I was going in, and I guess my windshield wasn't super clean. The sun was hitting, the rising sun was hitting me directly in the face. And it was literally, my windshield was, like, completely white. I couldn't see anything. So I'm like, you know what? I can't drive blindly into the sun. Pulled over as soon as I saw a gas station and just kind of waited there for a little bit until the sun rose a bit more so it wasn't blinding directly into my eyes. It's not a great feeling when you are in the vehicle and you're like, I cannot see where I'm going in the fast-moving vehicle. Same thing with, like, you know, snow or rain or stuff like that. Oh, it's so stressful. I'm glad you were lucky. Yeah, it sounds like it would give you a headache, in fact, if you're just squinting into the sun. It's just like, it's especially bad. I can't drive and stuff. I need some winter tires. That's what I need, or at least all season tires, because my tires are still like California tires, and those are obviously not meant for snow. I just don't drive much. Like, if it's snowing, I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to drive anywhere unless I absolutely have to. I can walk to get groceries nearby because I don't want to move my car. Yeah. Ooh. I have hydroplaned a couple times in a car, and that is a scary, scary situation when you're something like, I am not touching the ground in my vehicle, which means I'm not in control of it. So don't hydroplane, that's really scary. Take care to have proper tires and don't drive too fast in the rain. Everybody makes fun of Californians for driving super slowly in the rain. I'm like, my dude, the alternative is you spin out. Yeah, snow and ice, bad, bad, bad. Scary. Also, hello. Thank you. Yes, we are doing art. One of those things where, like, you feel completely safe driving in your own car until suddenly, like, you're reminded, oh, big machine. Glad no crash. Any driving you can walk away from is good. I might need to do, okay, I'm going to do one more stretch. And then I'm going to probably do one more little session and then we'll call it. This is just going to be a short stream. Again, wrist is not the best today, so I don't want to push it too hard. And I've got a bit more stuff to do tomorrow, but it is stretchy time. And then we'll do one more session. Driving home in the opposite direction. Ugh. Also not a fun thing when you're driving is when all of a sudden you're like, what's that smell? And then smoke starts coming from the front of your car. And you're like, ah! I've had that happen, and that was extremely unfun. I don't even remember what the issue was. I think it might have been my radiator or something. But bad smell and smoke. It was time to pull over as soon as I could. A bad time. No, not into the car. No. Ugh. 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 Another reason trains are good. Unlikely to get smoke where you are sitting. Gross. Ugh, and it smells. Ooh. Ooh. Yucky. Ugh. Hate that. I am used to driving in quite a few crazy conditions, but snow isn't really one of them. Not ice or snow. And rain is never quite that fun. But I learned to drive on some pretty gnarly roads, so I at least felt fairly confident about, my ability depending on, what the conditions are. Well, because I've started driving a lot less since I moved, I don't feel like I have as much practice, so I get a little more nervous than I did probably 10 years ago when I was driving all the time. I just haven't needed to drive very much, so I almost never do it. Like a lot of stuff I need is either I can walk to it or I can take the train to it. So why drive if it's easier to do those things? I hate parking. That's the other thing. Is like if I'm going someplace new that I haven't been to yet, I'm like, what's the parking situation like? I hate having to look for parking. Whereas if I'm walking or taking the train, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think driving is going to stop existing anytime soon because there are situations where you do need a vehicle that can go lots of different places. But I am all for cities, areas being more walkable, better public transit, and all that stuff. Because it's, it's cleaner than a bunch of cars belching smoke. It is safer. Often it is faster as long as things are running well. And it takes up way less space than cars. Cars take up so much space to drive them, to park them. Like, you can transport so many more people in a train than you are in, like, a street full of cars. And, like, yeah, if you're in a rural area where you have to drive because everything is really spread out, then, yeah, you're going to need a car or a truck or some kind of vehicle like that. That makes sense. But there is, like, people should not be driving their big ass trucks with the tiny truck beds in like the city. Like, where are you putting that, dude? We don't have space for that. Please just use your own feet or a train if you're able. Sir, this is a Wendy's, exactly. Why are you taking your giant ass thing with the hood of the car taller than a 5-year-old child so you can't see what's in front of you, to like the fast food, the McDonald's. Please don't do that. Yeah, the oversized tires. And you can like tell the difference between like, you know, a rural driver who's like hauling stuff and, you know, cares about, you know, having a work car, basically a car or a truck where you have to haul a bunch of stuff or people around. Like the people who do that, you can tell that they're different than the people who are like, you know, I'm gonna have a big old truck because I'm overcompensating kind of thing, and don't actually care about hauling stuff, or, you know, if the car is good for rough, rugged work. Like, you don't need that going to, like, the bank, dude. It's mostly just big and gets in other people's way. It's really frustrating. I really wish they would kind of, you know, like, if they're going to ban a car, ban those kind. Again, you can make trucks that are good for actual work, and the rest of us can have smaller cars. Ugh, that's so gross. Alright, be right back for a few more stretches. That was our stretch. It's me, NASCAR. I'm here to merge without looking. I feel like if you were driving in NASCAR, like, looking would actually be very important for what you're doing. I don't know. I feel like people who drive NASCAR are probably doing a lot of looking around at them. Because otherwise you're going to smash into people. Please use your blinkers. It's another thing, like, use your blinkers, please. I know. I try and use my blinkers. Ugh. Although with driving stuff, another reason why I haven't been driving that much is because just getting out of my garage is a giant pain in the butt. Because of all the construction happening. Like, on my street, all around, are like these giant construction vehicles. Like, I don't even remember what they're all called, but you know, the big, you know, crane things and lifting guys and giant, like, big heavy duty giant trucks all over my tiny little street. So I'm like, okay, if I leave my garage now, am I going to be able to go this way? Or will I be blocked by, like, a giant-ass crane thing? Will a bulldozer be on my street, pushing dirt around? It's like, please, sir. Please, I just want to go to my garage, please. Internet truck. Ooh. Why do you have an internet truck blocking half the street? I don't know, maybe I wouldn't mind if they were putting in, like, fiber internet or something. That'd be nice. Get faster. Oh yeah. I know they're working on power stuff here too. I think they're doing like plumbing stuff as well. They've been digging up the street and been digging big old holes in the street to put like, you know, pipes and wires and stuff into it. And we've had a more power outage than normal. I think that's because of it. Yeah, that's important. You do want to make sure that's reinforced. Oh, it is wild just trying to walk down my street to the train station. And I'm like, half my street's gone. They're building them high rises. Oh, that's scary. Ooh. Yeah, like, I don't mind them maintaining or updating the equipment. That's important. You can't let that stuff just sit and rot, because otherwise, you know, all of a sudden you're going to need it, and it's going to be out. But, oof, it's a pain in the butt in the meanwhile. Well, the McDonald's had power. They probably have dedicated generators or something, honestly. Everyone's going there. Yeah, I imagine, yeah, certain businesses probably have, like, they're not necessarily on the grid. They have their own, at least a backup generator. So they can stay open. Capitalism will not be denied. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow will stop us from selling you the burger. You will purchase burger. And Coke and fries. Ugh, yeah, that's gotta be miserable. Ugh. Everybody else is like, oh, snow day. It's like, not for us. Here's your coffee. Ugh. Ooh, grocery store. I always feel like I don't know, whenever I talk to grocery people, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm here buying food. I'll get out of your hair as soon as possible. I don't know how to do good conversation except for thank you. Oh, really? I started bagging my own stuff during COVID, and I just kind of haven't stopped. Like, I'll just bring my own bags, and I'll be like, I can bag them, and I'll just, like, they'll hand me the stuff, and I'll put it in myself. Sometimes if I'm, you know, super behind or there's a big line, I'm like, okay, please help me. But most of the time, I usually go shopping, like, really early in the morning when not many people are there anyway. And I'm like, I'll just bag it, don't worry. Because, I started during COVID and just kind of never stopped. What? Why would you put everything in banana boxes? How odd. How odd. Yeah. I also like if somebody insists, like, I'll do it for you, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But it's like, I can bag stuff myself. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's her way or the highway. Potassium or else. I wonder what makes people so particular about that. I don't know. Maybe she had some, like, super bad experience where, like, all of her food was crushed or something accidentally and is like, never again. You will put my groceries in the banana boxes. Wouldn't those be hard to carry, though? I feel like the reason why we have bags is you can hold multiple of them. I don't know. I think if I had a working beehive hairdo, I might be kind of proud of that. That probably would be hard to maintain. Oh, it sounds like so much hairspray, though. Ugh. Blast from the past. She bought hairspray most of the time. I gotta go through my supply. Oh, I wonder what that does to your hair. Good grief. I'm here for my weekly supply of hairspray. Just like in the musical. My hair will remain vertical. It's like that one video I saw of on Tumblr or whatever, this guy, it was so funny. He's like, I'm gonna see if I can't freeze my hair, because there's this guy with like really long hair, and basically he, was outdoors, dipped his hair, really long hair, in like a bucket of water, and it was like snowy outside, and then he like laid down on a bench for a little while. Oh yeah, he wanted that Marge Simpson cosplay, and basically laid down outdoors on a bench, letting the hair go under him until he could, like, okay, I'm really cold, I can't just sit anymore. And, stood up to see if it works. And yeah, his hair literally did the Marge Simpson cosplay. Giant thing sticking straight up because it froze in that position. And he's like, yeah, it worked. It was so funny. That is what I want to see guys doing. Try and freeze your giant hair into positions. Huh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Almost done with page 3. I haven't done much crazy stuff with my hair lately. I kind of want to dye it again. It was fun when it was dyed, but my only problem is, like, I don't like spending time maintaining my hair, and you got to do that more with dyed hair. And there's still like blue all over my bathtub because some of the dye got on there and did not come off. That's so cute. What a character. That sounds like a character design, you would just kind of see that person and then draw them later. Yeah, it's just extra time, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting at my computer all day. I don't really want to accessorize. I admire the people who have like a cool personal style, though. I've never been able to quite get myself going about it. I'm really bad with accessories as it is. I always forget to draw them on the characters I'm drawing, for that matter, let alone put them on me. But yeah, I do love when people have just, like, real life people have this weird character sense of style. Like, you can tell they're just, like, really into them. Like, they're not trying to be trendy or anything, they're just doing their thing. And you're like, that's really fun. I like that. Kind of makes you feel good. Yeah, exactly. Like this one artist I knew when I was a kid, some church friend or something, and he was so cool to me. He was like, a bit more of a fine artist than I was, like a commercial artist or whatever. I think that's how it was anyway. But he, like, dressed really eclectically. He had, like, the artist beret and, dressed almost mostly in black. He basically looked like often a parody of that, one character from Doug, the older sister. Very, very artistic look. And he had a DeLorean. And I got to ride in his DeLorean once, and it was the coolest thing. Did I do special lines again? I did. Okay. Yes, a DeLorean. It was so cool. It was just a quick little ride around, Wait, hold on. Okay, no, just this part. I fixed up. They are so low to the ground. They are. It was really weird. When it first pulled up and, like, in front of my house, I was like, what is this car? It looks so thin and squatty. And then I was like, wait, it's the DeLorean. But yeah, they are very much low riders. They are They are squat, they are very small, they're low to the ground, but it felt cool to ride in one anyway. I don't know if I'm ever going to have that experience again. I have no clue how he got it, because I'm not sure how many are available now in the world. But yeah, he had a DeLorean. I was totally geeking out. I loved it. I think for like one of my modeling classes once, we had to do hard surface modeling on a real life vehicle, and I picked the DeLorean. I'm like, I want to model a DeLorean. Those are cool. Yeah, you probably only see them at fan conventions kind of nowadays. The association is just Back to the Future with most people. Even like it wasn't like finding a real thing is pretty hard, because yeah, this wasn't a replica. This was a actual drivable car. This was the real deal. Yeah, it was very weird to ride around in, because it was very squat. It was very low to the ground. We didn't get to go very fast because, you know, we're in like a suburban area. So didn't get to do 88 miles per hour. But it was still neat. Back to the Future. She's still arguing with the guards. Oh, nice. Cool. Cool. Free comic book day. I'm not sure if there's any other, like, I'm not much of a car person. I'm trying to think if there's any other cars. I'm like, oh, I wish I could see that car. I wish I could ride in that car in real life. But I did get to see the DeLorean. That was probably my highlight. Oh, interesting. Wax figure of Marty. I need to see the other Back to the Future movies. I've seen the first, but I haven't seen second or third parts. Those are some classic 80 movies. Problem is, even though I was alive in the 80s, I was also a very little child, and a lot of 80s media would not have been appropriate for me at that age. So stuff like, you know, Back to the Future or Ghostbusters, I missed a lot of them because I was a kid when they came out, and we didn't go see them when I was a little kid. They were a little too old for me. Oh yeah, the Western theme. Speaking of trains, that's Time Traveling Train, which is always fun. So, like, speaking of vehicle movies, remember a movie I remember being a big deal when it came out was Speed, which was, we have to keep the bus driving at over 55 miles an hour or else it'll blow up. That was a fun movie. We have to drive the bus over this unfinished bridge. We can't stop. Whoa! Dennis Hopper was the villain in every movie. True. Yeah, I do hope we see a little bit of Western themed stuff in Chapter 3. I thought Chris and Susie were cute in their cowboy outfits. Let Chris and Susie put on many cute outfits. Even though I have to sprite all that. Speed and Waterworld. Yeah, I missed Super Mario Brothers and Waterworld, but I did see Speed. My boat. What happened to Dennis Hopper? Didn't he, like, fall off really hard for some reason? can't remember. Yeah, he was the villain in a lot of movies. Wasn't he also like the villain in Tank Girl? Am I misremembering that? He passed away. How did I not know that? That would prevent him from being in movies. I guess. I thought he was still alive. I thought he just, like, something happened to him, but I guess a thing that could happen to him was dying? I didn't think he was that old. I can't remember. That's wild. That's wild. 2000 or 2010? Oh, crazy. I didn't think he was that... Okay, yeah. That's weird. I thought he was still alive. I didn't think he was that old. That is crazy. Who else do I think is alive is actually dead and vice versa? Watch out, Undyne's pointing at you! She's like, I'm gonna mess you up. And if I don't mess you up, a giant eldritch lizard monster might. 2010? 74? I mean, that's not that old, but it's not young either. 74, sheesh. Huh. I guess he would be pretty old. I guess he was older than I thought. Okay. So, yeah, he's not in movies because he's dead. Okay. Wild. Well, what other movies was he a villain in? Now I'm trying to remember. Was it just those? Maybe it was more. Wonder how you feel if, like, you keep getting typecast as, like, specifically villains. He was 57 when he played Koopa. Huh. Those are definitely some odd choices for that movie. Like, people really didn't know what to do with video game movies back then. I don't think people knew what to do with video game, like, anything that wasn't a video game. Because the TV shows were of varying quality too, I guess. Huh. Okay. I still haven't seen the Sonic movies. I should at some point. I'm only very casually know about Sonic game stuff, so I probably will miss a lot of lore and stuff. I'm not hep up with the Sonic lore. That is funny how things work out. I have friends who are big into Sonic, and they can instruct me. But if I go in blind, I'll be like, I don't know what that is. Except only vaguely through cultural osmosis. I did enjoy playing the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, or the little April Fool's game that came out. That was really cute. I'm curious. Around 59 when played Robotnik in Sonic Movie 1 in 2010. My sense of time is skewed because for some reason I thought that Dennis Hopper was younger and Jim Carrey was older. What do I know? Should know better because I know that Jim Carrey was in a lot of movies in the 90s. He was way more popular back then. 90s, early 2000s. I'm really bad with keeping up. Yeah, Flubber! Saw Flubber a bunch. Well, that was Robin Williams. Although I felt kind of weird about Flubber because, like, way before I saw Flubber, I saw the original, like, I don't know, 50s or 60s movie, The Absent-Minded Professor, which is what it's kind of a remake of. And I kind of like the absent-minded professor more. Yeah, I was so sad when he passed. That was really sad. That was such a big loss. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Let's see. I should be stopping soon, but I'm trying to think of what more I can do. Let's work on this picture of Undyne rather than the guards. Yeah, Flubber was big when it came out, but again, the one I knew first was The Absent-Minded Professor, which I don't remember when that came out, but it was a black and white one, so I feel like it was 50s or 60s. Yeah, if you like Robin Williams movies, it's not one of his best movies, but it's one of his pretty decent ones, one of his better ones. Hook was also a very good Robin Williams movie. A bunch of stuff he was in. Goodness gracious. Yes, Dead Poets Society too. And of course, he was the Bat in Fern Gully. As well as, the genie. Although Disney screwed him over big time with that role, so it honestly feels kind of weird, like doing stuff with Robin Williams and the genie, because on the one hand, Disney absolutely screwed him over with the genie. On the other hand, the genie was kind of designed for him, because the animators, were watching his stand-up at the time. Were like, oh, he would be so good as this genie character, and basically did some pencil tests with his stand-up, and Robin Williams laughed really hard at their pencil test, and is like, okay, I'll do it because it seems like the artists care about doing this right, and this will be special. And then they use a genie a ton in advertising, which they weren't supposed to do, and they tried to bribe him with a Van Gogh painting, and he didn't like that. Of course they did it anyway. Or specifically, Michael Eisner tried to bribe him with a Van Gogh painting, because of course Eisner did. Of course. Alright, as soon as I finish this drawing of Undyne, I think we're going to have to stop, because 1, it's about my stopping time, and 2, I got to make sure and rest my wrist, because it's getting a little worked. Because I've done that plus, full day's work today, so it needs resting. But I wanted to do a little bit of drawing stuff, because, again, it's probably going to be a while before I can do another art stream, because the next few weekends are going to be busy with cons and visits and stuff, and I'm like, I want to make a little progress on this. And I didn't have a game ready for today, so I'm like, we'll do a really quick art stream and make some Eldritchrune progress. If you guys want, I can show you other pages as well. Show a little what happens, or we could save that for later, because it'll probably be a bit of a wait before I can get back to this one. I'm coming up on just busy times, but it is in progress. It'll get done probably sooner than the Jevil one, because this is much shorter and much easier to deal with. Please show. Let's see. Yep, here's a page. Oh, might as well save that. Anger, Undyne. And then more stuff with Alfie's entering. She was interesting to do character designs for. So she gets to be very cute. And page 7. More with Undyne and Alfie's. And they get to continue to be cute. Cuteness. And then another page with them. Hopefully Alphys looks good in human form. Deltrune Alphys specifically. Alright, there's not much going on in this one anyway, so we can leave off on that one. Cuteness is happening in the future. But yeah, this will be a fun one whenever I finish it. It might just take a little time because, yeah, next few weekends are going to be busy. Busy, busy, busy. But progress will happen when I can do it. And also, yes, I will be starting Okami, not next weekend, but the weekend after. I just didn't want to start it this weekend and then, like, take a break right when starting it and then start again. So, we'll be back to the future. It's all good. We like bad puns. We like the bad puns. But yeah, so Okami will be in 2 weeks, and probably by the time Okami comes back, maybe we'll be able to do an art stream or two as well. But yeah, streaming will just be a little thin the next few weekends because I'm just going to be busy. But that's okay. I super appreciate you all being here for the streams. I appreciate the following or the gift subscriptions. Those are really cool. And yeah, I like talking about weird stuff with you guys while I draw. It makes the drawing feel so much better. So, thanks so much for coming to the stream. Yeah, happy to have you here. And I also got a few requests done for the little page. We're slowly making progress on that. There'll be more of that in the futures. Whew. But yeah, I need to make sure I do final stretches and exercises before I head off, take care of my wrist and all that goodness. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and that things go well for you. And yeah, I'll catch you all later, and I will see you all next time. Alrighty, good night.